Mauritius, tropical dream or daily reality? The answer is never just black or white. When you think of the island, the image that pops into your head is pure paradise. White beaches, crystal lagoons, palm trees bending in the wind. And yes, all of that is real. It's not Photoshop. Anyone who lands here is immediately struck by the kind of beauty that steals your breath away. But living in Mauritius isn't only about tanning under the sun or sipping cocktails in a resort. It also means facing a hidden side, one you won't find in glossy brochures. Let's start with the dream. Here, every day gives you the sensation of being on holiday, even when you're not. You wake up with the smell of the ocean in the air, step outside, and within minutes, you're staring at a horizon that feels infinite. You can walk barefoot on the sand, pick up seashells, or simply watch the sky burn orange and red as the sun sets. Life here flows more slowly. The frantic rhythms of big cities seem to belong to another planet. The dream continues in nature. Mauritius is far more than its beaches. There are mountains to climb, waterfalls hidden deep in the forests, and trails that lead to villages where time seems to stand still. In a single weekend, you can hike up a green peak and the very next day swim among coral reefs. That mix of sea and mountain turns everyday life into a never-ending adventure. Then comes the food, another piece of paradise. Eating in Mauritius means tasting the world on a single plate, spiced curries with Indian roots, fried noodles and dumplings from Chinese tradition, vibrant Creole stews bursting with flavor, and French pastries that echo the island's colonial history. It's not unusual to sit at a table with friends and see all these cuisines side by side, an edible reflection of Mauritius's multicultural soul. And of course, the people. Mauritians have a natural warmth that wins over anyone. They greet you on the street, smile even if they don't know you, and invite you to share a plate as if you were family. That hospitality isn't just a detail. It's one of the biggest reasons why so many foreigners decide to stay. But like every dream, this one has its shadows. Living in Mauritius is not the same as spending 2 weeks here as a tourist. When the holiday ends and the sun goes down, the everyday challenges remain. And they're challenges only those who live here really understand. One of the first is bureaucracy. Here, paperwork is almost a second language. You can walk into an office hoping to finish in half an hour, and 3 hours later, you're still waiting, with half the documents missing. Sometimes they ask for yet another copy. Other times, a stamp that seems essential only because that's how it's done. Frustrating? Yes. But it's part of the reality of life here. Expats quickly learn that patience is the real key. Bring a bottle of water, maybe even a book, and accept that things just don't move at Zurich or Paris speed. And then, the traffic. At first, you think, how bad can it be? It's just a small island. But soon you realize the roads were never designed for the explosion of cars driving today. Rush hour means endless lines between Port Louis and Curepipe, buses grinding uphill on narrow lanes, and motorbikes darting past on both sides. It can feel chaotic, even exhausting. And yet, there's also something strangely charming. The bus rattling through curves, Sega or Bollywood music playing on the radio, and the stranger next to you casually sharing their day. It's not comfort, but it's real life. And that's the difference between those who stay and those who go back home disappointed. And that's not all. Other aspects of reality often surprise those who move here. Take the cost of living, for example. Some things are much cheaper than in Europe. Fresh fruit, street food, and public transport. But walk into a supermarket looking for imported products and get ready to pay double, or even triple. A block of European cheese, a bottle of French wine, even basic pantry items, they all hit your wallet hard. Living in Mauritius pushes you to rethink your habits, to choose local, and to discover that a glass of lychee juice or a fresh baguette from the corner bakery can be just as satisfying as anything imported. Then there's the question of work. For Mauritians, opportunities are not always the same as for foreigners who arrive with savings or a business plan in hand. For expats, getting a work permit or starting a company requires patience and paperwork, but it's doable. For locals, however, average salaries are often low compared to European standards. That creates a gap between those who come to enjoy the lifestyle and those who are simply trying to make ends meet. And yet, in the middle of all these challenges, something continues to make life here feel special. Community. In villages, markets, and families, there's always someone willing to help. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you sit down and share a plate, you become part of the group. That sense of solidarity is one of the island's greatest strengths. And this community spirit isn't only seen on big occasions, it's most visible in small, everyday moments. In villages, it's common for neighbors to knock on your door holding a plate, maybe fish curry, a few freshly fried samosas, or fruit picked from their garden. Nobody arrives empty-handed, and nobody stays empty-handed either. There's always an exchange, even if it's just a smile and a quick merci beaucoup. In the markets, the same spirit lives on. If you're a familiar face, the vendor might slip an extra mango into your bag or give you a discount without asking. It's their way of saying, you belong here. The same goes for gatherings. All it takes is a guitar, a ravan, and a couple of friends to spark an impromptu evening of Sega music. People laugh, sing, and share food under the stars. It doesn't take much, because what matters isn't what's on your plate, but who's around your table. That's one of the greatest lessons you learn here. True wealth isn't measured in money or luxury, but in relationships and in the moments that become memories. So, is living in Mauritius a dream or a reality? The truth is, it's both. It's a dream when you wake up to birdsong instead of traffic noise. It's reality when the fan suddenly shuts off because of a power cut, and you're stuck sweating in the middle of a humid afternoon. It's a dream when you sip fresh coconut water, watching the sunset at Flic en Flas. It's a reality when you realize imported cheese costs twice as much as it does back in Europe. Living here forces you to reshape your needs. You realize you don't need much to be happy. A simple meal shared with friends, a dip in the ocean, a laugh exchanged at the market. Mauritius teaches you to live with less, but enjoy more. And that's where the island's magic lies. Not in being only a dream or only a reality, but in blending the two. Because if you're looking for a flawless paradise, Mauritius will disappoint you. But if you're searching for a place that feels authentic, that gives back as much as you're willing to put in, then yes, Mauritius can become the home you never expected to find. In the end, living here means accepting that the dream and the reality walk hand in hand. You can't have only sunshine without clouds. You can't have only beaches without traffic. Not only that, but you can't have only sunsets without rainy days. But if you learn to see beauty in those contradictions, Mauritius won't just be a place to live. It will be a place that changes you forever. And you? Would you choose the dream, knowing it comes with all of its reality?